Introduction to Segregated Funds and Annuities. Segregated funds are similar to an egg, where the investment fund, or mutual fund, which is referred to as an investment fund since the speaker is not mutually fund licensed, is the inside, and an insurance wrapper or shell provides protection. Key designations. Before diving into segregated funds, it's important to define a few key roles. Policy owner, the person who owns the investment. Annuitant, the person whose money it is. One person can be both the owner and the annuitant, but they can also be different, e.g. in a group RSP the workplace might own the plan, but the employee is the annuitant for their section of money. Beneficiary, the person who receives the money when the annuitant passes away. The beneficiary, who is usually a family member or friends, gets to choose where that money goes. Protection from segregated funds. The insurance portion of segregated funds brings several types of protection. 1. Guarantees. Segregated funds offer two types of guarantees, which are typically between 75% to 100%. Maturity guarantee. This guarantee triggers at the 10-year mark, at maturity, from the date of investment. If the investment's value is less than the guaranteed amount at that 10-year point, it will be topped up to the guaranteed level, e.g., to 75% or 100% of the initial deposit. If the money is taken out before the 10-year point, the maturity guarantee has not triggered and is not available. Death guarantee. This guarantee is triggered upon the annuitant's death. The amount is checked at that time, and if it's less than the guaranteed percentage of the initial deposit, it is topped up. The death guarantee applies even if the annuitant dies shortly after purchasing it. The guarantee level ensures you get 100% or 75%, or more if it grew, of the money you put in the initial deposit. If the value is higher than the guarantee amount, you receive the higher amount, they never garnish it down. Taking money out ends the guarantee. Resets. A reset locks in investment gains by changing the guarantee amount to the higher current value. How it works. If your initial $100,000 grows to $125,000, a reset attaches your guarantee percentage, e.g., 100%, to the new $125,000. This changes the value that the percentages are attached to. Death guarantee. Your death guarantee changes automatically when a reset occurs. Maturity guarantee drawback. The maturity guarantee's 10-year period resets back to zero, extending the maturity guarantee date out another 10 full years from the date of the reset. If you take the money out before the 10 years after a reset, the maturity guarantee won't be triggered. Types of resets. Resets can be done automatically, e.g., every 6 months, 1 year, or 3 years, depending on the company, or manually, by the advisor and client signing paperwork. Automatic resets. These will only reset up, never down. 2. Creditor protection. Segregated funds offer creditor protection. When the annuitant passes away, the money is sent to the beneficiary, who can be a family member or a friend, by the investment company early in the process, e.g., Step 2 or 3. Later, when debts are paid off, if there is more debt than possessions, creditors cannot go after the segregated fund money that has already passed on to the beneficiary. However, in cases where the beneficiary is not a direct family member, creditor protection may be waived. 3. Bypassing probate. Segregated funds also offer the benefit of bypassing probate. Probate is a fee paid upon death, which can be a flat fee, e.g., in Alberta, or a percentage of every dollar of the estate, e.g., in Ontario. Since the segregated fund money goes to the family member early in the process, it's not present at the later probate stage, e.g., Step 7 or 8, so the probate fee is avoided on that money. Investment concepts. Interest rates and inflation. Interest rates. The percentage your money goes up or down by. Inflation rate. The concept that everything goes up in cost over time, e.g., the cost of penny candies or gas prices. Real rate of return. The real rate of return shows how your rate of return is doing compared to inflation. Real rate of return equals interest rate minus inflation rate. Example. If you earned 5% interest and inflation was 3%, your real rate of return is 2%. Guaranteed investment certificates. GICs these lock in a guaranteed interest rate, e.g., 1%. If inflation is higher, e.g., 3%, the real rate of return is negative, e.g., minus 2%, meaning the GIC's value is losing buying power compared to the cost of goods. Compound interest. The simple formula for compound interest calculations is value times 1.0 plus interest rate percentage equals next year's value. To go up, finding future value, you multiply. You repeat the multiplication for the number of years. Example, $1,000 today at 5% for 5 years. Year 1. $1, 000 times 1.05 equals $1, 0.50. Repeat 4 more times 1.05 times 1.05 times 1.05 times 1.05 equals $1, 276.28. To go back, finding present value, you divide. You repeat the division for the number of years. Example, wanting $3,000 4 years from now at 7%. Year 1 back, $3, 000 divided by 1.07 equals $2, 803.74, approximately. Repeat 3 more times. Divided by 1.07 divided by 1.07 divided by 1.07 equals $2, 288.69. Risks of investing. Anytime you invest money, you take on some risk. Inflation risk. The risk that the real rate of return is negative, which is common with low-interest guaranteed products like GICs. Interest rate risk. The risk that locking in an interest rate, e.g., on a mortgage or GIC, turns out to be unfavorable compared to current market rates. Credit risk. The risk that a company or government will not be able to pay back the money they borrowed from an investor, bonds. Bonds are treated as safe, like GICs, in most contexts because you are lending money to a company or government with a promise of getting it back plus interest. Stocks, in contrast, are buying ownership, which is volatile. In the case of exempt securities, there are no catch-alls, no safety nets to cover losses due to credit risk if the issuer defaults. Longevity risk. The risk of outliving your money or savings in retirement. Liquidity risk. The risk that you have no emergency fund or liquid cash to cover unexpected expenses. Liquid cash is money you can access today, like in a checking or savings account. Money in an RRSP, TFSA, house, or car is not liquid because you must sell it or go through withdrawal processes. Assessing investment risk. Investment risk is generally assessed by 2 main factors. 1. Stocks versus bonds mix. Stocks, also called equities, fluctuate, riding the roller coaster of the company. Bonds are generally safe and flat until paid back. High risk, more stocks, e.g., 75% stocks, 25% bonds. Medium risk or balanced, a roughly equal mix of stocks and bonds, e.g., 50/50ths or 60/40ths. Low risk, more bonds, e.g., 25% stocks, 75% bonds. 2. Diversification. Diversification is spreading out your money to reduce risk. Geographically, where in the world you are invested. Industry, what industries you are invested in. Low diversification / high specificity. High risk, e.g., investing all your money in one person or one industry like oil and gas. Wider diversification / low specificity. Lower risk, e.g., giving small amounts to many people or investing in all industries. Investment fees and compensation. Sales charges. There are 2 main ways sales charges are applied to investment funds. Front-end load, FEL, or initial sales charge, ISC. The advisor and client decide on a percentage, e.g., 3% to 5%, that is taken out of the investment up front. Example, investing $1,000 with a 5% front-end load means the advisor gets $50 and $950 is invested. This is generally recommended for short-term investments, less than 10 years, to avoid back-end fees. Back-end load, BEL, or deferred sales charge, DSC. The client invests the full amount, e.g., $1,000, and the advisor is paid a percentage, e.g., 5%, by the company, not the client. Drawback. If the client takes the money out before the end of a schedule, which can vary, but in the course is treated as 10 years, they must pay a fee to take the money out. This fee decreases over the schedule and is zero at the end. This is generally recommended for long-term investments, 10+ years, to avoid paying any fees. Management expense ratios, MERs. A management expense ratio, MER, is a percentage that the investment company takes off the top of the investment every year. MERs fluctuate but are taken regardless of whether the investment goes up, down, or sideways. Example: if an investment has a 3% MER and shows a 5% gain on the statement, the investment actually did 8%. If it shows a -5% loss, it actually did -2%. The MER fee goes to a few different places. Investment company provides incentive to grow your money because they get a percentage of the growth. Money manager, the person who manages the fund, e.g., deciding what to buy and sell. Guarantee choice, the cost of the guarantee, e.g., 75% versus 100% on a segregated fund. A higher guarantee, e.g., 100%, will typically have a slightly higher MER than a lower guarantee, e.g., 75%. Advisor, trail commission, the advisor receives a percentage, e.g. 0.5% or 1%, of the total money invested paid out every year. This is the trail commission. Annuities. Annuities are structured like a backward mortgage. The client gives the financial institution a sum of money, and the institution pays the client regular monthly payments, principal and interest. They are a way to purchase an income that generates a monthly influx of money for the client. Annuity variables. Questions about annuities will refer to a choice in each of the following three variables. 1. How soon payments are needed. Immediate. The first payment is needed within a year of buying the annuity. Deferred. The first payment is needed longer than 1 year from the time the money is given. 2. How long payments are needed for. The longer the payments are stretched out, the thinner the monthly payment will be. Term certain payments go for a specific amount of time, e.g., 10, 20, or 30 years, and then stop. The initial lump sum of money is kept by the company when the term is over. Straight life annuity. Payments go for the individual's life, continuing until they pass away, similar to a pension. Joint and last survivor. Payments go for the lives of the individual and their spouse and continue until both pass away. Payments will be thinner than a straight life annuity. Payments can be set up to pay the spouse the full amount or a reduced percentage, e.g. 70%, after the first spouse passes. Note: you can make changes to an annuity up until the first payment is received. After that, everything is locked in. 3. Payment style. Level. The payment amount stays the same, e.g., $1,000 a month always. Variable. The payment amount will go up and down a little bit with the market, but will not go to zero or infinity, staying in the same general area. Indexed. The payment amount grows every year to keep up with inflation. Initial payments are usually low so they can be high later. Good uses for annuities. They are beneficial for anyone who wants to generate a monthly income, e.g., to generate a pension when self-employed, to manage an inheritance over time, or to pay for a nursing home for the rest of one's life. Registered investments. Taxation. Registered investments are vehicles that hold your money, and they primarily differ in how they are taxed. Registered Retirement Savings Plans, RRSP. Tax deduction in: you receive a tax deduction on the money you put in, which means you can take that amount off your taxes for the year. Fully taxed out. When you take the money out, it is fully taxed like regular income, added to your check/income. Conversion. At age 71, all RRSPs automatically convert into Registered Retirement Income Funds, RRIFs. RRIFs have a minimum amount that must be taken out every year but no maximum. You can take out as much as you want. They are 100% taxable when taken out. RRSP Special Situations. Home Buyer Plan, HBP. This allows you to take RRSP money out toward a down payment on a house with no tax upfront. You must either repay the amount back into the RRSP within 15 years or pay the tax on the money not replenished. The HBP can be used more than once. Group RRSP, GRRSP, Segregated Funds. Group segregated funds, used in a group RRSP, have no guarantees, no maturity guarantee, and no death guarantee. Pensions. Pensions are typically money set aside by a company to pay the employee a set amount for the rest of their life upon retirement. Types of pension plans. Defined benefit pension plan, DBPP, a guaranteed pension where the company tells you the exact amount of money you will get out at retirement, regardless of how the market performs. Defined contribution pension plan, DCPP, the amount of the pension is not guaranteed and depends on the market performance, up with the market, down with the market. Deferred profit sharing plan, DPSP, an employer-contributed plan where the company shares its profits with the employee, e.g., through stock options. Pulling out a pension. You can choose to pull out, take the dollar equivalent of a pension, if the company allows, and invest it yourself. This money is then transferred into a locked-in retirement account, LIRA. LIRA. This is where pulled pension money always goes first. Vesting period. LIRAs are subject to a vesting period, which is the amount of time the company's money has to be in the pension before the employee can take it. Conversion. At age 71, all LIRAs convert into a life income fund, LIF. LIFs have a minimum amount you must take out every year and a maximum amount you can take out every year. LIFs are 100% taxable. Provincial rules. Every province has different LIRA rules, but this will not be tested in a Canada-wide course. Tax-free savings accounts, TFSA. Tax-free in and out. TFSAs are tax-free on the money going in and the money coming out. Contribution limit. There is a limit on how much money you can put in. Recontributing after withdrawal. If you have maxed out your limit and take money out, you cannot put that money back until January 1st of the next year. Non-registered investments. Non-registered investments are not registered with the government, e.g., money in a checking or savings account. Successor owner. You can name a successor owner for a non-registered investment. When the owner passes away, ownership transfers to the successor, and the tax on the growth is not paid until the successor takes the money out. Anti-money laundering. Rules for anti-money laundering only apply to non-registered money, as this is how illegal funds are often laundered. Capital gains tax. Non-registered investments are subject to capital gains tax upon withdrawal. The total withdrawal is split into two parts. Adjusted cost base, ACB, the amount of money originally invested, e.g., $100,000. The ACB is always tax-free. Growth. The amount of money the investment grew by, e.g., $50,000. The growth is subject to half of your personal tax rate. This concept also applies to selling businesses and rental homes.